the report that we've made public today built from the experiences and insights of several hundred NYC educators. It captures the bright spots, like the majority of the teachers who are seeing positive outcomes with the new curriculum, especially those in phase 1. It also highlights challenges, like the need for stronger professional learning and better support for diverse learners. These insights, along with the expertise of educators, can show us the way forward. This evening, we thank you for being open to their voice.
We want to keep this a real thing that is going to have real impact on our babies, my own included, who is in the school system. With New York City Reads rollout and implementation, we're getting better at it. And it's because we continue to hear feedback, we take feedback, and we don't just sit on it, but we talk about it and we figure out what's the way to improve what we've been doing.
And when we're reading between the lines, though, of this data point, we'll see that teachers will always need supplementary information and resources. But what we need support is additional guidance of how to pull that material that best aligns and support our E&L students.
It feels really empowering to be part of this, conference, part of this group. It gives me so much inspiration, so much hope. There's so many different avenues. I loved hearing all of the stories from the different educators. As an educator myself, many of the stories were so relatable. And I love the way the Chancellor was able to relate and connect with each and every one of them, being an educator herself. So I thought it was very empowering, very inspiring, and I can't wait to do more work.
An effective implementation requires stability and patience. In my 3 years of teaching into reading, I've been able to engage my students more effectively because of the rollout experience.
So I think we can talk to E4E and think about other ways we can bring people together around specific elements of that feedback, because that would be, I think, for us also a huge help to bring the teachers to that conversation with the curriculum providers. These are, national curriculums. A teacher, a district, a school going to a large national provider and say, I'd like you to change something. They're like, well, I have to sell this in Texas. But, when it's us, when we can say this is a full district, this is the city of New York, this is, hundreds of thousands of kids are being provided this is the change we need to see. That brings more of a weight, and we'd love to hear more from you all about what kinds of changes you'd like to see.
This, for me, this is so important in my career because I don't necessarily feel like I have this in my school. So to be surrounded by people who care so much, who are willing to act and not just complain, who are so smart and dedicated and caring, it's really important to me.
Overall, we do need to maintain and improve PL to support teachers in all phases, especially when we start to talk about and think about ways to build internal capacity in our buildings. What we're hearing from this report is more teachers are looking for more time, more professional learning, more resources and materials to properly differentiate instruction for diverse learners. NYCPS needs to focus guidance, resources, and PL on how to differentiate existing materials for students struggling to access the curriculum.
If teachers are coming together and telling me that they need professional development, or they want opportunity to learn from their colleagues, or they want to see what the best practices are in the districts, I'm going to be responsive to that. It's not what someone else said, someone sitting at Tweed said, but it's something that I'm hearing from my teachers, and that is a conversation that we've started with our superintendents because it is a great need. Now that we've resourced superintendents in a way like we've never done before, they have more capacity on their team to address the needs of their districts.
I felt a sense of unity, and I felt hopeful, and it felt good to know that I'm not the only one that's doing and working on the groundwork and stressed out about it and wonder, well, how can I do this better the next day? So it's nice to know that I have others around me.
So I'm extremely grateful for the feedback that we get, because this is the only way that we can improve, to get honest feedback that is going to guide our next steps.
And what I'm hearing in my building mostly is that teachers need more time together, not doing some sort of tasks that comes from the administration, but more time to sit together with your co-teacher and actually read it. And I brought the manuals
so that you could see.
And so I've lived that. I've lived it with you as a teacher, right? I was mapped out and paced, and we had our teacher groups and worked together to plan our lessons, and somebody came along and said, well, no, you got to do something else. So my commitment to you is to get this implemented well.
And when I think about this report and the work that E3 is doing across the country, Dr. Rux, you asked about the positives. Like, I think that, as you said, we are on the right track. There is a lot of positive momentum in New York City, and there is a lot to celebrate.
My question is, will you commit to doing another one of these in the spring? As we plan to write a report after we gather all that data from teachers around NYC Solves.